It was raining in Lyon when they got there. The journey, a remorselessly eventful one, took just under 3 weeks, and after 3 weeks in Lymond's company, longer than she had ever spent in the whole of her life, even Philippa's iron nerves were vibrating. They were attacked 3 times in the course of it, once in the forest of Urthin by the local brigand Long Peter, which they expected, and once crossing the gorge near Nantua, which it appeared only Lymond expected. Because of the size of their cavalcade and its quality, the fighting in both these cases was brief, and they suffered no damage. Philippa, used to thief-infested journeys at home and to trees with strange burdens, was not unduly disturbed. What shook her, lying under the lee of a waterfall behind a thorn bush and once, by mistake, on an ant-hill, was Lymond's articulate and nauseating power to command. To form an escort of even minimal size for ambassadorial dignity, he had hired men-at-arms swiftly and rigorously chosen, on leaving the French court. From St. Mary's, his company now lent to the king, he had taken only 3 men, 2 grooms and general servants from Mid-Coulter, and the Moor Salablanca, whom the year before he had freed from slavery at the castle of Tripoli. Now, in addition, he had Gerrit with his 2 or 3 men, Philippa with her elderly Fogg, and Master Zitwitz with his small staff as well. Through Onofrian Zitwitz's eyes, and through those of Gerrit, Philippa witnessed the reduction of this multilingual mob, smoking, to a compact troop of precisely drilled servants. As Solothurn gave place to Bern, and Bern to Freiburg, as they passed Romont and Lausanne, and skirted the Lake of Geneva to the Weisseskreuz at Rolle, as they passed from the bear pit and the German cooking at the Falcon, to the Croix Blanche and the Bois de Cerf, where Onofrion made them burn all the sheets, she commented blithely, on what she saw and shared frequently in the scourge of Francis Crawford's disparaging tongue. On other matters no one spoke. It was accepted, it seemed, that possessing this talent, Lymond should be exercising it on a parcel of peasants, while his own massive command operated without him at Hesdin, and for no better reason than that he wished to travel in state as a special envoy to Turkey. It was accepted that Graham Mallet, whose hunger for power was greater, perhaps, than that of any other man then living, was to remain undisturbed by Lymond to do what harm he might please on Malta. It was accepted that the mistress, alive or dead, and the son, alive or dead, whom Graham Mallet claimed to have hidden as hostages when, 3 months before, he had bartered his life, were to continue in life or in death, untroubled by Francis Crawford, who balked at publicly beating up Europe in pursuit of a 1-year-old bye-blow. At the beginning, belligerent, Philippa had tried to discuss it with Gerrit. He could at least find out if the baby's alive. He could at least hurry. If he'd left Scotland when Gabriel did and got to Malta first, he might even have rescued it. Good God, said Gerrit. You don't suppose Gabriel's keeping them on Malta? They were at Coppet at the time and leaving early by Lymond's unalterable edict, because Calvin was preaching. Gerrit had wished to hear Calvin. The bloody child's not on Malta. It's in the Corsair Dragut's harem with its mother, if she's still alive. If Gabriel's issued orders to kill it, then it's dead, and Francis couldn't have stopped it. How could he? He couldn't sail for a week after Gabriel had gone, and even if he'd known where to look, Graham Mallet would have got there before him. But if it is dead, then Mr. Crawford is free to kill Gabriel, remarked Philippa, her mud-coloured eyes ingenuous in her very plain face. Quite, said Gerrit. Which makes it seem very possible, doesn't it, that it is in Gabriel's own best interests to keep the baby alive. But inaccessible, said Philippa thoughtfully. But inaccessible. So why are you going to Lyon? Said Philippa. It's not on the way back to England. Gerrit eyed her austerely. For protection. It seems to me, said Philippa prosaically, that on the whole we run more risks with Mr. Crawford's protection than without it. The following week, within sight of Lyon and its frieze of occupied gibbet and wheel, they became involved, not accidentally, in a Protestant baiting, despite all Lymond could and did do. The crowd came upon them suddenly, and with them a masked dummy, borne on a hurdle with its limbs dangling, broken in ritual to represent a heretic condemned.